Hi there, Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're looking here at a Toyota Hiace that we're going to be sending to the USA. Okay, so this one here is a 1995 with a turbo diesel 3-liter engine, automatic 4-wheel drive in it. This is the auction inspection sheet. This one has 213,000 kilometers, so relatively higher mileage than the average one that we buy, but the condition inside and out is really good for the higher mileage, and I think that you can be pretty happy with this one. The engine sounds like a peach. Nice and responsive. And when these engines get kind of old and tired, they lose their response. And you can bring it back with, that's a turbo timer. You can just press this button to stop that. You can bring it back by changing the fuel, giving it a tune-up, that sort of thing, air filters, fuel filters. This one already feels like it runs fine, and so it gives me the feeling like the previous owner was taking care of it. Let's quickly translate the auction inspection sheet here. It's a 95 Hiace wagon, Super Custom Limited. It's actually been converted over to a later model front end. So they took off the old front end and put on the new one. We have another one that is in the lot right now that has the old front end, but it looks fairly similar. The only difference is the grille here is larger, the headlights are slightly larger, and a more kind of like aggressive looking front bumper. It is better looking, mind you. The aftermarket corner lights here show a lot of contrast with the yellowed aftermarket headlights. So maybe time to get some new headlights for it. The body I'd say is pretty good. Just a little bit of rust right here and in the same spot on the other side. I'll get to that in a second, but let's finish translating this. It's an auction grade 3, interior exterior C. 213,601 kilometers. Sales points are purchased from user, aftermarket Navi, toll collection box for Japanese highways, and 4-wheel drive. The report here says wheels scratched, various scratches and dents, door mirrors scratched, underside surface rust, and that actually looks pretty good in my opinion. The seat makes a weird sound. Now actually the seat is broken now. It doesn't make any sound. And so it has a power seat only for the driver and only for moving forward and backwards, but now it doesn't move anywhere. And so that's going to need to be fixed. It's probably a plastic gear in there that has broken. And it says steering wheel has a cover on it. One other thing, it has an electric tilt for the steering wheel. Now standard for these cars is a kind of interesting little feature where as soon as you put the key in, the seat goes to the memorized position of where you have it, but then when you take the key out, it pulls the seat back and it tilts the steering wheel up to the full up position to give you the easiest access in and out. Get out of there. Neither of those functions work because the tilting doesn't work, and it's stuck, I believe, in the full up position, and the power seat doesn't work. So two things that are going to need to be repaired. I think that's everything on here. The rust was not mentioned on here, but peeling paint was mentioned and paint fade here was mentioned. Usually they'll mention the rust, but the older the car gets, the more likely that it is that something's going to be missed. And I'm not sure exactly why that is. It could be that for an older car, the inspectors don't see those older cars as often. They may be rushed for time. I'm not entirely sure. I would say as far as corrosion goes, you're going to find corrosion on the auction sheet 18 or 19 times out of 20 it'll be mentioned, and then that other 1 in 10 or 1 in 20 is not is like this case where it's not mentioned. This one has a rear spoiler, rear ladder, still has the Japanese plates on it, has the upgraded trim down here below the bumper. I think that probably comes with the spoiler. This one here is a mirror that you can use to see what's behind you, and it's actually really handy because this mirror points directly at the rear bumper, and so when you look through the rear view mirror through this mirror, you can back up without hitting a wall. And this is super helpful when we have to park cars really close together in our lot. It has interesting side decals I haven't seen before. There's a slight color difference from one side to the next, but you won't notice unless you look at it carefully. But no cracking in the decals, which is a common thing. And then it says, probably one of the funniest things, I actually posted this on Facebook today. The moon, our closest neighbor in the universe, has been watching us for a long time. What will it see from now on? It's actually a little bit creepy, to be honest. Yeah. Okay, so this one, triple moonroof, there's actually 2 holes here. So 2 here, 1 here, and 1 here, so 4, but they call it the triple moonroof. And it also has the hot and cool box, so it's like a little fridge. You can put your drinks in, or if you're in Japan and you have like hot canned coffee, which is very common here, you can heat up your canned coffee that way. And it also has a hot water boiler so that you can make tea. And that's maybe my favorite option on any car ever. Okay, so front end here, discolored headlights and peeling paint. A lot of it here, but then if you look along here, it goes all the way across. There's like a paint line. Okay, I'm not sure exactly how you go about changing this front end to the later model one, but in 1995 they didn't look like this. I guess I can quickly show. We only have one right now. Usually we'll have more, but this one here is also a 1995. See, it's like one piece that goes across instead of a separate grille and headlights. Run back! 4-wheel drive. And it has like crushed bumpers here so that you don't hit your underside. Very handy. Okay, let's keep going. So we have a dent here, which has some surface rust. That's not as bad as the corrosion that we see. Back here, everything's looking really good. We have some dirtiness here, but that looks like it can be cleaned off. Here's the rust. And the places where the Hiace's rust. Here, underneath here, and under here. So it only has rust in that one area, which I guess is good, but it is a shame that it wasn't mentioned on the auction's inspection sheet. There's a protective cover on the top of the bumper, which is good. Pretty much all the Hiaces that I see have scratches on the top of the bumper here as you load and unload things. Now these seats here are full slide seats, and they're in the full back position, giving you the least amount of trunk space. Usually you get a lot more than this. And there's a nice little stowage container that you can open either from the back or from the front, or like right in front of these seats. And these seats fold flat down, and it can possibly be used as a bed for people who can't afford rent, which seems to be the case at least in Canada. I hear a lot of people complaining about it in the USA, but Canada seems to have a bigger problem with that, especially if you're from BC, like I am. Easy closer on the door there. Okay, going down here, decals looking good. There's the more rust on this side, but the underside looks really good. And I think that they've updated the wheels. And I hope I'm not going to embarrass myself, and this is actually one of the first ones of the post facelift. It absolutely could be that they changed at the very end of 1995, because this is 1995 November. So hopefully I'm not wrong. I might be. Okay, there's peeling paint on the black here. This black doesn't normally go here on the models I'm used to, which that one's mine, it's coming in. Makes me believe that I am actually, in fact, wrong, and that guy's gonna want a signature. Okay. So, seat has some wrinkles here. Otherwise is okay. There's a steering wheel cover on it. Okay, clean, smelly, free. I showed you the digital gauges already. They're awesome. Okay, now the AC doesn't feel like it works. It doesn't actually come on. And that's another thing that really should be mentioned on the auction inspection sheet, but it wasn't, which is a shame. But also this wasn't mentioned, the cool and hot box. Put your things in. Very, very cool. And a super lucky little option there, as well as hot water boiler. water. It's like 500 milliliters. You can boil at a time. Through the power of your Hiace. I'm going to put a mask on so that I can go sign for that guy. One-handed mask putting on. Konnichiwa. Looks like he'll still be a few seconds, so I'll show you this. It's a weird place for him to park, right on the street. Okay, so rotation seats. Point them forward or point them backward. Very comfy. Comes with its own little storage bin in here. Look at all those remotes. Okay, again, you can fold this one down flat to make it into a sleeping area between this one and the one in the back. Here's the look at the sunroofs there. Giant sunroof here. And then the one at the front there. Look at the front area. Get your hot water here and your cool and hot drinks. The battery's usually in here, and I pulled that open, and there's a wire that connects over to this like portable subwoofer that they have. And sorry it's so dark, it's getting late in the day. There's some substance on this seat. Controls for your rear heater. Okay. And let's turn this on, can we? Yes, we can. Fluorescent light. Ooh, so cool. That driver's actually late. He should have been here a long time ago. I don't know which one's door. I'll just leave it like that. Okay. So that's the end of the report for this one. I'd say overall pretty good condition. It's just that rust that needs to be addressed, but it is in a not very visible area, so color matching paint and such is not so much of an issue, but it is a disappointment still. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, there you have it. Of course, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much, and have a nice day.